Welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We are taking on Nocturne today, and we're going to use the seeded team. As you can see, I swapped out Claude for Ira here, just because I feel like she'll offer more to the team. So yeah, that's really the play here. We're gonna try to tank this yet again with Sita, and that should be pretty much that. Not too much to worry about here. Really, just gotta move Freyr, I think. You know what the great thing about Freyr and Ather is that their status effects or their weapon effects or whatever their effects, even though at the start of turn I don't have Freyr's effect on Fjorm right now, at the start of player phase it's gonna be re-upped. So it's basically not mandatory for me to always have them. It allows a lot more freedom in terms of positioning, and I really like that. I really like that. So it's really freeing in a sense in terms of just being able to play in a way that you want to play a bit more. It's not a start of turn effect, it's a start of phase effect. So regardless of where I put my units at the beginning of the turn one, I can always then get back the effect once the enemy phase starts. So I don't really have to worry about it too much as long as everyone is within range. Also, I just noticed that I made a big mistake. Actually, I should have gone a bit further up the map so that Felix will warp into Sita. Because what'll happen now is that he will move and then warp, which is not good. It means that I probably already lost here. There is no recovering this, I don't think. Yeah, this is a big misplay on my part here. Since I broke the structure, Sigurd's range was no longer avoidable by the unit that I had in the back there. Yeah, he would have gotten all the way to, that's only what, 1, 2, 3, 2 more. He would have been able to hit Ather in the back. So that was a big misplay for me. You're gonna see it in a second here. If he warped straight into Sita, he would have died, but I did not position properly. There you go. Big oopsie moment for me there. I will wish Fjorm was able to survive this combat because, I mean, why not? She's a blue unit. But he actually just consistently bodies her. I mean, if she's running Pavis, then she wins or she survives. But yeah, I wish she was able to just do that. Maybe if you changed it to not shield fighter, maybe she does better there. But yeah, it is what it is. He would have just warped into someone else at the end of the day anyway, so. That's unfortunate. Another loss for the Sita team. This one was really on me. This was my fault. You know, I play this way with this team because Gatekeeper used to be on it, and he would be the one to stop the warping shenanigans, but since I can't fit him in. GG's. Okay, we're going to play another one here. We're against Booba this time. We're going to go with the Edelgard team, or I don't know if this is more of like the Tana team. Tana's really the one that's the initiator here. Oh, God. You know, I brought this team to warp in and attack into Kvaser via that free spot right there, but I just remembered that Tree Man is going to prevent me from doing that. I forgot that he has that stupid thing, barricade.
I am not sure.
So we're gonna have to change this opening here. What do I do? Alright, so the good thing is this team is boxed in, so it's not a threat really until I start breaking stuff. The bad thing is I didn't really plan ahead that far, or I'm gonna have to change my entire plan, and this is all gonna be on the fly. Let's see if Tana can take out Tree Man here, and then figure out the rest from there. I think that will have to be the play. Yeah, also, I've actually been working on the Edelgard. I don't know if I need to bring Tana over into... But then the problem is the terrain effects will get overridden. So she puts down the haze terrain because that's the build that I have equipped currently. I guess I could swap it out, but that's the build that I have currently. But that will get overridden. I'm going to be using Winter Edelgard for light season, of course. And that'll get... The fire terrain will override the haze, so I don't know if it's really like the perfect combination to do that. I've been looking for someone that can run pass for light season and also get extra actions. So basically that really limits me to the amount of units that have... Well, first off, who has extra actions? So you're looking at Sharena, Edelgards, of course, Sigurd, and that's kind of it. Yeah, that's kind of it, if I'm not mistaken. And they also have to have a free B skill, and they also have to be able to survive like one initiation. So it's not a lot of units that... Oh, Golveg. Golveg is ultimately the one that I ended up deciding on being the best option because she has the most actions out of everyone that I listed. Edelgard, of course, can't run past because everything is in her B skill. Sigurd has only 2 actions, which is crazy to say, but it's only 2 actions. And then Sharena has consistently failed me, so I don't have a ton of faith in using her. And also, she kind of needs the potent for the damage reduction, not necessarily to kill things, but just so that she doesn't die herself. So yeah, leaning more towards Golveg for the team composition, and it's probably for the best to have like a mixture of attacking options, ranged and melee. Oh my god, this Loki is hella annoying. Oh my god. So yeah, it's probably for the best to have. The new plan is to take out Tree Man, and that's going to be the initiation point. I was planning to do it with Tana, so we're going to see if she's capable of doing that. But Loki's being really annoying here. But yeah, it's good to have a mixture of initiation options. So Golveg it is. She's not going to be taking out any far saves, but that's hopefully where Yunaka will come into play. Unfortunately, I can't run pass. I can't run wind sweep, and then also step on traps. Hopefully, we get a wind sweep seal or echo skill or something. I think that would be great. Man, a lot of skills would just be great as echo skills. So it's kind of like not even a conversation point to even bring that up. There's just so many things that would translate well to that slot. So yeah, it's whatever they do at some point, it's probably going to be good. But yeah, Yunaka, the B slot is not very flexible there because I kind of want her to have the disarm trap, but then also she needs the wind sweep to initiate into saves, especially if they're running Hardy Fighter. So it's not looking too great. Well, primarily if they're running Hardy Fighter, then I probably can't use the strategy, because if she doesn't get to the 4th hit, then she'll die. And then also, I can't like run Miracle on her because a lot of her damage is tied to lethality. So, and then there's no point if she's initiating and not killing the far save, because in the current meta, the far save is going to either be Hearthfulger or, you know, the Tree Man. Both of them have barricades, so really, you'd want her to take out either of those 2 units if she's initiating into them, which is what the current strategy that I'm planning on revolves around, taking out the far save, so that we can then try to get to warping. But if that doesn't work, then, you know, the positional swap at least will help us out. But then I can't initiate into the far save. I'll have to like break a structure or anything. So that's why I'm thinking that I can still, at least I'll have to run the disarm trap so that she can still step on the trap and then be useful that way, because if I can't warp Edelgard in, then I'm going to have to swap her in. So essentially the strategy is dead if there's Hardy Bearing or Cancer Control, which is very, very specific, but I feel like there'll be enough of it for it to matter in some situations. And then also there'll be times that I'll just be able to use a team. So if I could find a third unit option that can bypass those two things, Canto Control and or Hardy Bearing, then that would probably be the best pick for the final slot for the team. But currently, Golveg, Yunaka, Edelgard, Mythic, and then who's the other unit? Oh yeah, Lucina, who is just like undeniable. She just has to be there. The stat swings are just too good for me to leave her out. Yeah, so that's pretty much the team composition, and it's been doing okay so far. Edelgard with 3, Golveg with 4 potentially. Should be enough to take out everything in light season, depending on the bulk of the units. So yeah, it's not going to work every time, but it should make my life a little bit more easy for some of those tougher matches in light dark season. Well, not necessarily the tougher ones, just the ones that are a little bit more cumbersome to deal with in terms of like tanking, or some that don't require too much thinking. Ultimately, I've fallen on past Golveg. I've seen it before, and it looks like it works fairly well, so I think that's what I'm going to lean on. Because none of the other units can really run past well. So it's going to be past Silica Ring. And I feel like that's the best combination for her. The Canto will come from the Future Focused. So that's where the Canto 2 will come from. And then we lose out on flat 7 damage reduction and also some stat swings from the B skill that was previously there. But it should be okay. Regardless, she should work just fine into Felix. I want to say should be the main issue, but if she's unable to, then hopefully Peony can get a dance in Yunaka, and Yunaka should be able to take care of it. Or worst case scenario, Winter Edelgard does very well into Felix as well, so should be okay. Looking forward to using the team. I've been able to get Winter Edelgard to even take out Tree Man as well, so that's a positive. If, you know, he's not the far save or near save, you know, Edelgard, if I can get Edelgard up there, she can take him out as well. So definitely looking forward to that. It's been because I feel like Golveg is like a very specific unit, and it had to be her that filled that past Celica roll slot. But GG's, see you in the next one. Alright, welcome to another day of Ether Raids. We're taking on a Sigurd team here, and this Edelgard team is, well, Yunaka team is actually something that I've been working on in the meantime here. It's actually kind of challenging to use. This is not the easiest team to drive, I want to say, if you know what I mean. It definitely takes a lot of thought, and if you mess up, then essentially you lose because you'll get stuck. Really what it wants is another dancer, but in place of that I'm running Ather since only one dancer in Chaos Season. So yeah, because of that, we're just gonna try to figure it out. I don't think I'll use it too much, but it is, when it works really, really well. It's very fun to use, and you get to see some early Yunaka content onto the light season. So that won't be for a while, but yeah, this is, you know, some Yunaka content for this season. Maybe I'll put her in Astra Anima just to show her off, but it's not really necessary, I don't think. I think I have enough coverage in that season to not have to use her there. But yeah, should be pretty straightforward team to use here. It is so impressive how consistent she is in terms of being able to take out the snakes as well as Rhea, unless there's some type of Hardy Bearing, which pretty much stops her, because I kind of need to run, for Aether Raids at least, the Disarm Trap skill on her to get the most, to get her, to use her at her full potential, is essentially what I'm trying to say. But yeah, otherwise she does very well. Probably want to partner her with some type of miracle support. If you're having trouble versus, you know, Hardy Bearing snakes or Hardy Bearing far saves, But she's fantastic. She does very, very well. Looking forward to using her in light season, of course. Also, you don't want to tank her. Like, if you are against, unless you have Party Baron, you probably don't want to tank her. But yeah, that's pretty much that. I guess the only thing that I can probably think to bring up is that as of recording, this is the day of the trailer for the new legendary banner, and it is Sakura. Make of that of what you will. I feel like this is yet another year that we've gotten a Sakura alt, healer alt Sakura, that has been intended to shift the meta, but I don't think she will. Just because of she's underpowered. And it's yet another healer that they're just afraid to go all the way with in terms of damage output. If you're gonna make a legendary healer, you gotta go all the way in, man. You gotta just go balls to the wall and make her do insane damage. Otherwise, there's really no reason to use that healer. And that's kind of what Sakura has fallen into. It's she does damage, but it's not exactly what you're looking for. And then her gimmick, which is to essentially nerf Kanto control, which I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think that's great. Not happy about that. And it's kind of the worst case situation in terms of you didn't want Sakura to be the one to introduce that, because it's kind of a toxic skill, or you didn't want Sakura to be the one to, you want your unit to be liked, and that is not the type of thing that is going to make Sakura well liked. So yeah, she's introduced a new mechanic that kind of nerfs Kanto control, and that's not great. Don't know what direction IS is going in regards to that, but I mean, we'll see. Yeah. But yeah, really with these units, with units that aren't like super duper popular, making them legendaries, you really want to push the envelope when it comes to damage output, or just something that makes them unique. And Kanto control, nerfing Kanto control doesn't really do that. And then also, she doesn't have the damage output, from what I've been looking at, to really leave a mark. If she was able to just flat out destroy every snake in the game, then okay, we're in business. But she falls a bit short of that. I want to say she's somewhere around the same power level as Edane that we got from the genealogy banner. And Edane is actually sneaky powerful in terms of how hard she can hit. If she quads, she's definitely getting the kill. But yeah, man. I guess I'll talk some more about the banner in another video, I guess. GG's.